Next, we have our Breakout Wrestler of the Year. Our nominees are LA Knight, Toni Storm, Swerve Strickland, and Trick Williams. And our winner of the Breakout Wrestler of the Year, with 52% of the votes, LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised that one was that close.
Like, to me, yeah. I mean,
I'm surprised that one was that close.
Little insider, I didn't vote for my categories until it said 1 minute left remaining for me to vote, because I was kind of torn on all these topics. This was the one that, boom, I was able to hit right away. I'm willing to challenge anybody. Breakout Wrestler of the Year, LA Knight absolutely killed it. He came out of nowhere and made himself completely relevant.
He made himself relative. Is this geography class?
He made himself relative and relevant. Okay, Mr. LA Knights. Okay. But again, these other people on here, we have Trick Williams. Again, he's a breakout for NXT. I know he kind of made a comment that is developmental, and that's a very valid point. So, but again, to me, I still thought that he was worthy to be on this list. Again, Swerve Strickland, again, making nothing out of something, and he is relevant and relevant. You know what I'm saying? So, and Toni Storm, again, she has nothing but the skies to go for. I think she's going to be doing this for a very long time. She's just finding her groove.
You can only win Breakout Wrestler of the Year once. So she's not winning in 2024. 52% LA Knight, 27% Swerve Strickland, 15% Trick Williams, 6% Toni Storm. Eshaun, react.
And to pull you back, we almost forgot about LA Knight.
Sure did.
How that happened.
We sure did.
I don't know how that happened.
It wasn't until earlier today. I sent them a text. I was like, hey, y'all, oops. We forgot LA Knight. I forgot who did we have. Who was our fourth?
Y'all wanted Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Y'all wanted
Tiffany
Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton.
They were passionate about having Tiffany on the list too.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I
Barbie
put LA,
killed it.
and as soon as I put we put LA Knight on that list, I had to check him because I'm like, of course,
yeah,
like right because almost similar to Cody, he has organically built an audience and a fan base for himself. Fans wanted more from him. We wanted more from him for a long time. The company finally put him in position, and I feel like he delivered. And now almost every opportunity that he was put in, I think he had a great match with Roman, and I'm looking for an even bigger year for 2024 for him. So as far as next Swerve Strickland, I think he was right there. For me, if Ellen wasn't on this list, that's who I would have voted for. I think he's another guy that I think whoever is running, AEW creative, if that's Tony Khan, of course it is. I feel like he made them use him.
For sure.
With his talent, his creativity, his wrestling ability, he forced a case for him to be heavily used on those shows. And he has grown so much as a performer right in front of our eyes on that television scene. I mean, and it's been a consistent thing all year long for him. I know you guys were really passionate about Tony. I love Tony too. I think she's one of the best things on AEW TV. Swerve, Christian, Tony are like some of the must-sees on AEW television. It's that for me, she's only been doing this character for a few months. If she had a longer resume of this character and longer success, I definitely would have chose her. But for me, you look at LA Knight, a Swerve Strickland, like the work they put in all year, I feel like it'd have been a slap in the face for us not to vote for one of those two men, given the amount of work that they put in just because Tony's hot right now. Now, I hope that Tony can continue this character and add some layers to it, going into next year. But right now, I feel like it's LA Knight. Whose time is it? LA Knight.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like we had to put Tony just because of the work she did. It's like one of those where they're not going to win, but you still got to recognize them. I do wonder, though, if we would have taken Tony off and put Tiffany Stratton on there, if she would have got more than 6% of the vote. Maybe not, because I don't know where you would have pulled from, but 6% is pretty low. You know, like Swerve getting 27%, yes. Trick Williams is an interesting one because I think that could be a little bit of recency bias. Because Tony has been doing her thing in this role, in this gimmick, in this character longer than the elevation of Trick Williams.
Not really.
Super hot right now.
No. I think you guys really started getting hot on NXT more recently. But this story with Carmelo and the uprise of Trick has been going on. This storyline with Trick and Carmelo has been going on for a long time. And
it has, but I'm talking about where they're singing this song when he comes out. That type, like he hasn't been this hot.
Oh no, it's been a slow uptick. He's been on the rise for a long time. Now, I think that Tony's popularity has come kind of more out of nowhere, more so the Trick. Trick has been slowly building fan by fan for a long time, and his ring work's been getting better, match by match. He's had a year. It's just that again, he's doing it on a smaller scale than Toni Storm is, for instance. Like, Toni Storm is head of her division. She's the champion. But Trick has been doing it for a long time on that brand.
I'm gonna bring it up now, even though he said it under MVP of WWE. Casamigos Poppy, our guy on Twitter, he wrote in and said Dirty Dom under MVP of WWE. And my response to him was, that's a great call. He could have cracked the top 4 in a couple of categories. Actually, I said couldn't. I meant could have. This was the category that I felt was perfect for Dom, breakout star. But once again, if we're looking at the 4 people, if you listen to Eshaun, okay, we could have pulled Toni Storm off. But Dom turned heel last September. This was already kind of in motion. Yes, he was nowhere near as hot at the end of 2022 as he is right now at the end of 2023. But LA Knight's got to be there. Swerve's got to be there. And I really think Trick has to be there. Now, maybe you can argue and say you could put Dom over Trick or LA Knight, and I wouldn't fight you on it. But
you mean you mean Trick and Tony. You mean Trick and Tony.
Yeah. But he's one that just didn't crack the top 4.
Hey, that's not a bad tag team name. Trick and Tony. They were like a duo. Trick and Tony.
Wait. I know we just got past the tag team. I got to bring it back. What about the back and rack attack?
Back and ass? Yeah, they were no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. We talked about it then. Like, that was it. Liv Morgan, Raquel.
That was a makeshift team.
Rodriguez, it was. And they were all right. Like, yeah.
But I don't remember now though, Matt, going back to your Dom. I think I actually nominated Dom for Breakout. Because the thing about a Breakout, I don't think it necessarily has to be somebody's. I feel like it's their year where they took, because in wrestling there's levels to it.
Right.
And I feel like it's that when they broke out to the next level of their character, or a specific scale on the card. And I think Dominic was that. I think from an in-ring perspective, I think it's when as a fan, I thought from an in-ring perspective, he really broke out. He became I think it was a couple years ago. Cody and Dom had a match, and I think that, Matt, you were saying that match was there or wasn't what it needed to be. I feel like if they had another match, I think they may have had another match this year. I think you say the opposite. Dom has had great matches with Dragon Lee. He's had a lot of great matches with a lot of different people, and I'm not a trained eye on ring work, but I listened to like a lot of better wrestlers talk about Dominic, and they said in a lot of those matches he was leading those matches. Now, I can't see that with my eye. I'm not trained like that, but what I'm hearing from these veteran guys is he's leading these matches, and they're really darn good. And from a character standpoint, he knows exactly who he is. He's a true heel in every sense of the word. For me, he broke out as a performer to be one of the potential next top guys.
Now, would you put him over LA Knight?
Right.
I would put him over Trick. I would still go LA Knight, Swerve down.
Okay, so you would put that 3. Bring up what you brought up yesterday. You actually wanted Christian in the breakout of the year. And my argument was, no, he broke out like in 2005 or whatever it was. And your response was to this level. And I understand what you mean, but like I said, for me, when I see breakout, I feel like, hey, this is their moment. This is the first time we're seeing them in a different type of light. And yeah, you can argue and say Christian's doing the best work of his career, but man, he's been a world champ in like Impact, and he held the belt in WWE back in the day. He was with Edge and Christian. So kind of just talk about that a little bit too, of why you felt like Christian could have been in the breakout of the year category.
Yeah, you think about, Christian when he came back, right? How long has he been at AEW? Just off real quick.
A few years now. At least 3.
2?
No,
2
at
years?
least 3. Yeah. Yep.
3? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been there 3 years. And I remember when he first got there, I don't think any of us were hot on Christian being in AEW.
No.
Right? And I think for maybe his entire run with Jurassic Express, it was okay. Like, right? But this heel version of him has taken him to another level, to where he's not just a older wrestler that came back. He's actually somebody that you look forward to seeing every single week. This version is a version that I don't think any of you guys have seen him portray, right? This is almost an entirely different character. And he's a must see and a must watch on that program. I feel like he had a breakout year from a character perspective. He is somebody that anybody will want to see. We got a couple categories that we're going to mention and talk about Christian, but I feel like on the microphone he's broken out, from a character he's broken out, from a storyline perspective he's broken out. Like, he's must watch TV. And for me, breakout, it doesn't always have to be a new wrestler. It could just be somebody who just shattered the ceiling and went to another level for me.
So with that being said, could we have put Cody Rhodes in the breakout wrestler of the year with that definition?
Ooh, see, now we getting
right.
The waters are getting muddy now.
He's already at the top level to me. For me as a fan, he's already at the top level. So I don't know. He's not breaking out for me because he's already at the top. So
okay,
last year, like 2022, absolutely, right? We were doing this 2022, absolutely. Because I didn't, as much as I love Cody, I had no idea that he'll be the number 2 guy in WWE. Like, I knew he'd be a top guy, upper mid card. I mean, not upper mid card, upper guy. Like, I figured he'd be like a Drew McIntyre, somebody who's always in the conversation.
Same.
Somebody who could win.
Or before maybe this year, the Seth Rollins mode.
I stopped myself saying Seth Rollins. He's another one.
You know what I'm saying,
right?
though? Yeah, like somebody who's not going to really main event a PLE. If you got Roman over there, or Brock, or whoever else may be the big person, but he's somebody that is going to move numbers. They're going to do what they need to do, but never at the level. Anybody who said that when he signed back to WWE, they thought this from Cody, they're lying. They're lying.
Yep. I never saw, like, in 2022. Absolutely, he will qualify for me when I think about this character. I mean, this award. What do you think, Rhodesia?
I mean, I'm LA Knight was hands down to me. Like I said, this was the only category that I had where I was like, okay, I have a 1-minute timer to get an answer in. And it was no thought. It was LA Knight, completely breakout. He was nothing and he became something, and he put himself at the top of the card. Real quick thing on Christian, he signed to AEW in 2021. So depending on what time of the year.
Oh, okay. So then,
2021.
When I said 3 years, I was like, okay, I could be wrong. It was fall of 2021.
Yeah.
Yep. Fall of 2021.
So I mean, I like what you're thinking there, E, as far as breaking out to that next level. But yeah, I think that then it just means, then what about Cody? And then what about somebody else? Or if we can get, why I keep calling her Ember Moon?
Athena.
It could be a breakout too. Of course, not to overtake LA Knight spot, but we're just talking about it can get really.
If we were in, we tried to keep it to AEW proper and WWE proper, outside of like Trick, because if we wanted to like open up the floodgates, we can argue a few people in NXT, we can argue a few people in Ring of Honor, hell, we can argue a few people in Impact for some of these. But then you're talking, we wanted to keep it to 4, but that also shows the health of the business, where you're talking the majority of these categories, nominees, we could go 6, 7 deep, 8 deep, and it would be fair. We're in a good space.